All right, Friday forecast time. The Huskers, 3 touchdown underdogs, believed to be probably the biggest underdog in Nebraska history in terms of a home game. How do you see this coming out against the Buckeyes?
Yeah, biggest spread Nebraska's faced since the 2004 at Oklahoma game when I believe it was close to 30. So, yeah, you look at it on paper, it's not pretty right now for Nebraska. Ohio State's coming in, a very hot team after that loss to Oklahoma. And you look, I mean, if you're trying to stay optimistic after last week, I mean, they had that game tied in the third quarter. They had Wisconsin on a 3rd and 4, and you know, it looked like Lou Gifford was held. The pass got off, and Ohio State or Wisconsin got a first down, and that kind of, you know, opened up the floodgates where they went on their little 21-point run. So Nebraska was in that game for 3 quarters. They couldn't take advantage of some situations they were given early, and you hope they learned from that. But I was encouraged, Andy, with the offense, the running game. You know, I don't think anybody thought Divine Ozigbo would go for over 100 yards like that against Wisconsin's rushing defense, and Tanner Lee went sackless in that game as far as the pass rush pressure from Wisconsin. So those are the positives. Obviously the negative is the run defense, and can Nebraska stack up against a very potent Ohio State offense this week?
Yeah, you mentioned Divine Ozigbo over 100 yards for the 3rd straight game. Now, Ohio State bringing in a potent offense. Man, they just score points and score points. They got J.T. Barrett, the quarterback, who's back for his 18th year in college, and J.K. Dobbins, a freshman running back, another true freshman they're going to have to deal with. They got to fare better than they did against Jonathan Taylor.
And they're coming in here to make a statement. Ohio State still thinks they're in the college football playoff race. They have the one lone loss to Oklahoma with the entire Big Ten slate now ahead of them. And for them, this is a game where they want to make a statement and show people that, you know what, we can get ourselves back into the college football playoff race as a one-loss team, and they're gonna bring it. I mean, this will be as tough of a team that's come into Lincoln in a number of years, and there have been very few teams that have come to Lincoln that say we want to blow Nebraska out. Ohio State's going to come into Lincoln saying we're going to try to blow Nebraska out here on Saturday.
That being said, a lot of talk Monday being about the mental makeup of Nebraska. Last year we saw a hangover effect after the Wisconsin loss. They got their doors blown out at Columbus. How do you think they've learned from that, or have they?
It's hard to say. I mean, I look at it being at home as the key, where last year it was back-to-back Wisconsin, Ohio State on the road. And, you know, if you're looking at it from that perspective, go back to 2015. They were at home after some terrible loss to Purdue. I mean, it was one of the worst losses we've seen, and then they knocked off a college football playoff team in Michigan State. So I think being at home at night can lift this team a notch and keep them alive in situations where you think maybe they're dead in the water. So I think that's what Nebraska has to hope, is they come out and play just better this week and get the crowd, make the crowd be a factor. And they wanted to be a factor so bad against Wisconsin.
Exactly. Man, how many times did you see the fans just begging to get in the game?
Just let us have a chance.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
I couldn't agree more.
I think that's the X factor for Nebraska, is if they can just make this crowd be a 3rd down factor and get after Ohio State a little bit that way, you know, that could be a big swing. But obviously it's going to take a perfect night of football for Nebraska to win this game.
Get that decibel meter over 100 in the 3-digit area. Yeah, it's going to be the first time in Nebraska football history top 10 opponents visit in back-to-back weeks. It's Nebraska against 9th-ranked Ohio State. FS1's your TV carrier, 6:30 Saturday night.